Hi, welcome to this video. My name's Deb, and this channel is called Awaken with Deb. It's a little bit of a weird name, a little bit of a cheesy name, but it covers all bases for everything this channel is. Ultimately, this channel is helping you uncover your truth. Everyone's so focused on healing their traumas, doing ceremonies there's like things. There's healing. Yes, we have to do these things. I'm looking down at my notes for a moment. The biggest thing is a lot of us have been born into a world and told what to do and have been given masks and roles and personalities to play. And if you're feeling a little bit of resistance in your life, or maybe like things aren't just quite fitting, you don't have that alignment, you don't have that resonate or that resonant feeling of what's going on in your life, then this channel is probably for you. It's been going since this channel's been up since February. Awaken with Deb has been a thing since 2016. Most of it was Instagram, Adventure World, writing, a lot of in depth with darkness, grief, love, joy, adventure, manifestation. The last 2 decades have been it all. People that go to college to get a master's or PhD, whatever that is, I've spent the last 2 decades in the college of life getting the top degrees that there are possible to get. And now it's time to give back. So the videos started in February, and these have all been great practice of learning how to really narrow down what message I feel is going to have the biggest impact and how to give that back to the people in a way that I feel is digestible and that they can really resonate with and actually help, right? I I started my journey without the internet. My generation, internet was just coming onto the scene in our young years. If we were lucky, we had a computer in our elementary years. I remember having a computer from the earliest age. So maybe all that is not entirely true. But internet wasn't a thing. It was, if you wanted information, you had to go out and seek it. I mean, I was just telling someone yesterday how if when I was a little child and I was bored, I would ask my mother to take us to the local library, and I would find the books that were on crafts, and then we would go to the store and I would get craft supplies and I'd go home and occupy myself. And that was great. So times these days are very, very different. We have so much information at the tip of our fingers, and not only that, but now we have AI. And AI is tricky because some people are viewing it as the end all be all, like it's an infinite god of consciousness and knows everything. And that's not necessarily true. It's programmable, and it's a mirror, it's a reflection. So it's always going to it wants to please you, and it wants to keep you interacting with it. And that's kind of how the system of earth is. Like, it wants you to keep interacting with it. So the start of this video, or I guess that's kind of this page, my goal here is to create space for people to feel seen, and also for them to have the courage to be seen. I've been showing up live at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's about 1 hour ahead of California, 2 hours behind New York, and 8 hour ish behind the European area. I know I have a couple handfuls of people from the European area that tune in when they can. And those live sessions, take advantage of them. They are your opportunity to jump in with a live Q&A and take that opportunity to be seen. Feeling seen without judgment is it's more tingly than love. It really is. Like, love is weird because love is usually surrounded by trauma and wounds and childhood patterns. So that one's tricky, but when you feel seen and you feel you resonate with feeling seen, that's when you tingle. That's when you feel it. That's when you know you're onto something. And I hope that I can provide that with this channel. And so, with that, feeling seen, right? We have to shine light on things to feel seen. And with that, one of the first, I keep looking down at my notes, so excuse me there. One of the first steps of focus areas to illuminate on is going to be uncovering wounds, because I believe I should Google this and write this down so I don't ever quote this wrong, but I think it was Carl Jung that said, until you make the conscious, or until you make the unconscious conscious, the subconscious is going to really rule your life. And it's true. Humans are like little sponges up until the age 7. So we are programmed and conditioned into a belief system. And as an adult, we get to choose if we still want to subscribe to that belief system. And there's going to be 2 different types of people in this world. Maybe 3. I mean, not everything's black and white all the time. We're on Earth. There is always duality, but not always definity of black and white. There's always the grayscale. So there's those that hit 18 years old, they've been supported their whole time, they've never had a question where food was going to come from, always having school clothes, always supported in sports. If they get hurt, no big deal. Doctors are there. That's what they're there for. And those children are going to become 18 and they're going to be very excited about life. They're going to have this belief that life supports them and that what they go after, they will succeed in. They have such a different viewpoint of life than those. There's this other side that they reach 18 years old and they are already exhausted from survival. They have already seen too much. Those are the ones that feel like life is out to get you. Things happened that you didn't deserve to have happen to you. And so if that sounds like you, that's me too. Now, where I'm at now, I'm at this moment, all my bills are paid. I am living in a house that I built with my own hands. And it's actually the second house that I've built with my own hands. I've had 2 paid for houses that I've lived in at times. I've had many paid for vehicles. I've had times where bills were the bare minimum and I was still grasping onto the belief that life was out to get me. Still. I still had those limiting beliefs that like I had life on a silver platter and I couldn't see it. And that's not, that's kind of contradictory to how I started the sentence. But I got pregnant basically at 15 years old. Okay. I've had men that have been on America's Most Wanted sleeping on my couch before. Their current, last I checked, they were in jail. So it's fine. Um, I've been there. Finances, I've hit rock bottom. I know what it's like to not look at your mail or answer the phone for years, because if you do, you're going to have an emotional fit because it's just a collector and they're going to remind you how awful you are that you can't pay your bills. Or anytime the best man that you can get is one that yells at you and gaslights you and degrades you, or maybe even kidnaps you, and just, there's life. And when we feel like life is out to get us, that's a deep, dark spiral that just keeps going. And I have pulled myself out of it, and it was not easy. And a lot of it I did by myself, but not entirely. It was mostly by myself. The times that I had help was very brief and very quick. It wasn't sustained help. It was just enough to get me on my feet, pat me on my back, and said, "You got this. Get out there." Because it's about resilience and it's about creating the character that you're meant to be if you choose to accept the challenge. It's like a video game. You can either choose to be a victim, but if you do, you're going to remain as an NPC victim mentality. And so make it your goal to become the hero, to transmute all of that. And it's, let's see. So when you feel like life is out to get you, you're going to notice these patterns of limiting beliefs and limiting speech patterns. There's things that someone like myself can notice in other people, and I can tell what stage they're at. And I want to tell those people, if you're one of those right now, that limiting speech, this that we might call you out on, it's not it's not to feel ashamed over, because limiting speech, it's protective, right? It's helping you. It's your way of saying, I'm in this situation and I know it's not my fault because I know I'm better than this. So anytime we go through these hardships, it's just to, it really is to make you a stronger person. And let's see. I'm just looking at another thing. But yeah, so okay, all these things. If you went through hardship, like, you didn't deserve that, and it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to feel that you didn't deserve that, and it's not your fault, because those things saying that you do have a sense of integrity, you do have a sense of pride, and you do have a sense of self-respect. And so being in that victim mindset, you are at least saying, I am better than this. I don't know why I'm in this situation, but I know I don't deserve it. And that's good. That's you're still here. You're still hanging on. You're not giving up. And that's important. Because even though you didn't get to choose what happened to you as a child or what family you were born in, at a soul level, you actually do. But on the earth level, you don't get to choose all that as a child, but as an adult, you do get to choose what happens next. You do get to choose how you view the hardships that you went through, because they didn't break you. They made you stronger. Trust me. It's not ah see, I know I had it written down a good spot. It's, you're not broken. You adapted to pain. And that is strength, even if it doesn't feel like it. You're not broken. You adapted. There's another one in here I wrote that was really awesome. I want to get the right words. You're not crazy. You're adapting. And if you think or feel that the world is unsafe, your brain's actually doing its job. It's not a flaw. Survival mode is not weakness, it's intelligence. Survival mode is not weakness, it's intelligence. When I was driving around at the grocery store parking lot yesterday, and I was noticing, I live in a very small town in the middle of nowhere, and very frequently I am encountered with tourists that come to the realization that they are in the middle of nowhere. There's not a Walmart. There's not big banks. Exchanging your foreign currency, getting food after 10 p.m. Like, there's certain things, that are hours and hours away. And so just living here in itself offers a certain level of survival existence. And we gain special skills through survival. I have gone through a period of my life where I learned a lot about homesteading and living off grid. And I know a lot about survival. And there's a lot of people that don't know about survival. So, in the same physical sense of, it's smart to know how to build a fire, it's also smart to know how to handle hardships. Because right now, there's a lot of people that live very cushy, comfortable lives. And if the world is going to get worse before it gets better, those people are going to have a harder time adapting as the world goes through this next shift. So if you're one of those ones that feels like the world is against you, that means you are gaining strength. You have the right superpowers. You have a better foundation than what you realize. You think that you're on a rocky foundation or like shaky foundation because your life has sucked up till now, but really it has just given you so much tinder and fuel for your fire for you to just blast off into greatness once you learn how to take the lessons from all that pain and transmute it into, I don't want to say pain into power, that's so cheesy, but trying like to find the intelligence within the pain. That's what we do here. That's what this channel is about. Let me know a situation in the comments below where maybe at first it was a situation that felt painful, but you found a really great lesson in it and it did make you stronger. I know it sounds so cheesy that our pain makes us stronger because it sucks and we don't want it. The first time a therapist told me that, after explaining just a small amount of things that I had been through in the big scheme of things, she's like, wow, you're really resilient. That's so great of you. That's a great quality. And my first thought was, I don't want to be resilient. I don't want to have these experiences that require resilience. I want a cushy life. But in the end, I'm the world doesn't need people with a cushy life. The world needs leaders right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I think this has been a great session. Thank you so much for joining me through this. Comment below how you're feeling about this. Are you what are you, if we're looking at black and white, are you one of those ones that had a great safety net at 18 and maybe you had a great safety net at 18, but once you got out on your own, that's when you went through dark night of the soul. Maybe that's when you learned what resilience was. Let me know in the comments below. I'm so curious to get to know who all these other light workers and luminaires on this path of worldwide awakening. I want to know who you are. Like the video if you like it, comment below, show up for the lives, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 1 hour ahead of California, 2 hours behind New York, and 8 hours behind the European, Italy, Switzerland, all that area. So again, my name's Deb Ashby, Deborah, the warrior. I am here to help you and the world into this transitioning and myself. I've been transitioning. And a lot of this helps me so much to be able, the studies that I do for the work that I do is a lot of my own inner work. And so being able to share this with others is a beautiful gift for me that I am so grateful for. So subscribe to get notifications of live videos and share if you feel like anyone else needs this, because it's sharing is caring. Okay. Have a blessed day, everyone. Cheers.